Hello, my name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. Today's topic is going to be about hypothermia and things that you can do to prepare yourself against hypothermia and just plain staying warm and having a good time in the great outdoors. This time of year I start talking about building fires and the importance about building fires. Why is it important to you that you be able to build a fire? More than just with a match or more than just with a lighter. It's a good idea to know how to build a fire with different methods, not just because of survival. I realize that every video out there is about survival, survival, survival. For the most of us, that's not ever going to be an issue. And I would think for the most of us that are watching this video right now, that would never be an issue for you as far as survival, survival, survival. It's more about good quality equipment. It's more about good quality skills that would help you in a lifetime of survival situations. Not just one, plane crashes and you're the only one that survived and you've got 50 miles to go through to get out to the highway. For most of us, that's never going to happen, especially in today's age. But there are things happening around us that maybe we should take notice of. Well, you got to be living under a rock to not notice newspapers to help build fires in your home and stuff like that. So if that's the case, that you're building fires with a newspaper, then this video it's right up your alley. Let's talk about different ways that we can build a fire outside of a newspaper. One is these cattails behind me. Now there's different theories on these. So this is the East Coast, and I have a really good friend on the West Coast. I'm in Maine, and my friend is over in California, and he really likes the tops of these cattails. And he can get a fire going with them quite nicely from what I've seen on his videos. But I find it at least over here, now I don't know if it's a different kind of cattail or his cattails are drier than us. That's the only thing that I can imagine because it's the West Coast and they have a lot more wind out there. I guess they call them the Santa Ana winds and stuff like that. Now I'm talking completely from what I have learned. I have never been to California. But the cattails here on the East Coast, I find the tops of these things to be hit or miss when it comes to building fires. And especially if you want to use a flint and steel and it's a flash burn if you do get them to go. So what I like better is I like the grass part of these things because I can turn that bottom into a nice nest and I can get that going with a piece of charred punkwood or a piece of charred cloth and get a nice fire going with the grass part. Where I have had, as far as on this side of the country, I have had really bad luck getting the head going. But that's not to say that I'm not going to spend more time practicing with it. Because one thing I've learned about these YouTube videos is someone else might know a really good trick. And my friend over there, his name is Jack D. If you want to check out his station or his channel, just type in Jack D. And you'll see he builds fires with cattails and builds them with the top. So, but if I always said if one man can do it, then so can I. So I'm thinking that if he has good luck with that top, then this winter I'm going to spend a little more time with that top, and I'm gonna experiment with it and see if I can get it to work as well as he does. And at the same time, maybe he can work with the grass part and show me some tricks out there, what they can do with the bottom. I know for us here with charred punkwood, this bottom piece makes an excellent grass tinder bundle in the wintertime. And this is all about wintertime, because in the wintertime, this is about the only thing that's above the snow line. You have, in our state, you have birch bark, you have birch trees. You can have 6 feet of snow and still get to these grass bundles as far as this cattails are going. And a lot of places in this state have cattails. I don't know if you can't tell, but the wind is really quite blowing, and every once in a while you might hear it. But this makes a nice place to hunker down. Everybody talks about building shelters and all of that. I don't build shelters. Rare do you see me build a shelter. But you will find me hunkering down in stuff like this. You can get in here and very easily knock down a circle area and start laying that stuff down. Look, I mean, it's sticking thieves in there. You can lay that stuff down until you've got 2 feet on the ground, and you can put 2 feet over the top of you if you wanted to, with no problems at all. And boom, you got yourself a shelter. And you got all kinds of stuff to burn. It'll burn fast, but you've got enough behind me. I mean, this stuff goes on for miles, so you could burn this. The tree line isn't too far away, so you could go get yourself some firewood, drag that into your little nest that you've built in these cattails, and you've got yourself a pretty good shelter. Not a long-term shelter. This is an overnight shelter. I don't spend any time at all on overnight shelters, because overnight shelter means that exactly. I'm going to be there overnight. Any time that I'm gonna spend the night, I'm gonna get up in the morning, I'm gonna get a fire built, I'm gonna get warm. If I don't have a fire going all night on an overnight shelter anyways, and in the morning I'm gonna move on to try to get myself out of the situation that I have found myself in. That is why when I talk about building shelters, that's why I don't talk about, especially an overnight shelter. I recommend against building overnight shelters, just because to me they tire you out, they make you sweat, they make you wet. Instead of spending time gathering firewood, you're spending time gathering materials to build an overnight shelter. I know on YouTube that's a really big thing. It looks like a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, but building forts is not what I'm about, and that's the way I look at overnight shelters. If it's not a long-term shelter, then I don't spend any time on it at all, because I'm going to be up in the morning and I'm going to be moving on. At the end of this video, I will drop you in some links to more topics on living here at the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine.